I think India is borderline hot.
When I was at the Montgomery conference, I ran into a lot of people from India. And I was like, what's up with the engineers? You got any good people for cheap? He's from Bangalore. He's like, my friends work for Indian companies. They're very senior engineers. They make $200,000 in India.
Yeah.
That is fuck you money in India.
The thing with India, Modi has effectively become a dictator.
And they all love him.
And you only have capital controls $250,000 a year. So the billionaires can't get out.
I mentioned that to this person that I met in Montgomery conference. He's like, good. It's great for India. Mother India.
So
Mother India.
actually,
They're nationalists.
Yes.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Guys, I might have said this before, but maybe now that it's spring, maybe it's back on my mind, but I think I'm going to retire. I have a new career. It's called a pivot.
Okay. I love a pivot.
Golf influencer.
The money's raking in.
It's not so much the money, but the dollar value of the freebies
Yeah.
is really blowing me away. Like, I feel like I'm back on MTV.
Golf stuff is so expensive.
It's so expensive. In the last month, I've gotten a brand new TaylorMade driver, $600.
Wow.
I got a box of Mall Bond, probably $2,000.
Wow.
This company Jones, which makes really well-known golf bags, hit me up and said, hey, we're huge fans of the pod. Just want to send you some stuff. No expectations. You don't need to post.
How do you spell Jones? Just so you know.
I think you should post.
The way you would think.
Yeah.
Just post them.
Jones, not Jon.
Okay.
I'm going to post.
Yeah.
You should
I'm
post
talking
them all.
about it right now.
Post all
I don't
of
even
them.
have anything yet. I can't wait to talk about it. I want to keep this gravy train rolling. So I just, there's a lot of golf. Here's the problem. I think that like golf influencers still isn't that saturated. There's a couple of golf YouTubers, some funny guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that was on the Bobby Pod. Did you see that?
Yes, but he's just a comedian, Andrew Santino.
Okay,
he's just a comedian actor. He just loves golfing. But another golf, little bit of penetration there. Pause. I just think it
Are you
could
getting
be
canceled?
I think so. Well, it doesn't matter because I'm ending my career anyway.
Yeah.
You're going to have to come back in 6 months to cancel my new career. Yeah. So things are looking up and
That's unbelievable.
So I will say, I think you have a massive lane, which is what I talked about for you 4 or 5 years ago. If you went MAGA,
right,
you would have just crushed it.
But MAGA's old now.
And that's old. Yeah. Everyone's MAGA. What is actually happening right now in the golf influencer community is just hot girls.
You're right. Hot girls and like funny bro dude. Like Barstool has a crew that does it. I believe there's like the Good is a crew.
Just like
Bob
regular dudes, I think.
Like bros.
No, but like
super bros.
This guy's tatted up.
Right.
He would crush it.
I'm fucking cool.
Yeah.
I used to skateboard.
You should take the skateboard to the country club.
And I know all the skateboard golfers. I have my own niche.
Yeah, skateboard golf
I
is
think
good.
you could crush this.
But think of how much money is in golfing and not how many influencers.
And think about how many people that aren't able to go to all these fancy country clubs that want to golf.
And shit on them.
By the way,
I go to every country club and talk about how much it sucks.
Yeah, I mean,
and people ask me about it now.
Not that you're going to get in anywhere.
No, I'm banned.
You're banned. There's no chance.
Actually, I haven't had any trouble, but people have said to me, like, don't review this one.
Yeah.
Not like at the desk, but other golfers.
Well, what's interesting is the big news of the last couple days in the LA golf community.
Right. Speaking of not getting in anywhere.
There is a discrimination lawsuit happening at Hillcrest Country Club.
Okay.
Hillcrest.
So where's Hillcrest?
It's on, Pico and...
So like Larchmont area?
No.
Like, no, that's...
Cheviot Hills.
Wilshire.
Yeah.
Near Cheviot Hills, I think.
So for the listeners,
Olympic.
very nice. One of the top 3 in the city.
Yes.
Probably costs $300,000 down payment at a minimum. You can't even get in. Even if you had the money.
Yeah.
And it sounds like I might be the only one getting in anyway.
Well, it is a predominantly Jewish country club.
I'm not in.
The heritage of the country club is because Jewish people couldn't get into other country clubs.
So we're all out.
So that's why the country club originally was started.
Okay.
Because of discrimination, the irony. And it's a very well known LA. I've been there bunch just for more like lunch and stuff.
Where's our friend?
Yeah, bleep that.
Well, that's why it was very vague. Is it there?
Yeah.
He invited me there a long time ago, but I feel like maybe my words on the pod got me uninvited.
And so the lawsuit made it to Daily Mail, which is, one of the most, I think the most visited website in the world.
Okay.
And it is alleging that Matt Winnick, who is married with kids, he is alleging that he was denied membership because of his background. And so
His ethnicity or something?
yeah, so I assumed his father just recently passed, Gary Winnick, pretty legendary businessman in Los Angeles, billionaire. And he had been going to the country club because I guess if you're a family member, you get access, whatever. And apparently he has some Hispanic heritage in his family.
He does, or his significant other?
I don't know. It just says Hispanic heritage in his family.
Got it.
And so apparently he's alleging that the president of Hillcrest yelled at his wife and kids, cállate, shut up in Spanish.
And then denied him.
No, just using examples of times and whatever. So,
But here's my question. Was he denied membership or kicked out? Or
no, he was technically a member via his dad.
Got it.
And his dad passed, so
He had to apply. He applied in February of 2023.
And they said no.
And the requirements are insane. You obviously have to meet all the members, 100 hours of community service, 5% of your cash flow goes to charity.
5%.
So they do all that, and then the kid gets denied.
So do you still want to stay golfing? Knowing
No,
this
I've
is
told you
how...
guys
That's country club.
No, but I know. But do you still want to grind the public courses?
Here's what I would say.
I've told you, I have a problem with the golf world.
Here's my view. If I was a golfer,
Yeah.
if I got to be at the country club, all good. It's just, you just have to get over the hurdle of getting in.
Yeah, but I would have to, literally someone would have to come to me and be like, hey, love what you're doing on group chat. Here's your membership card. Come whenever you want.
It doesn't work like that. The most
But that's my
powerful,
point.
most successful people have to play the game.
That's my point. That's why I'm saying I will never be there.
Yeah, super famous athletes have to play the game.
If they told me, hey,
billionaires have to play the game.
Yeah, billionaires too, sure.
if they said, hey, we need to see your bank records of your charitable donations. We need you to pay us who knows how much money, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And you need to meet all these old dudes to make sure you check out.
Yeah.
No chance.
I agree. I think it is quite insane, but I think for the people that are on the other side of the gates, they love it.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone who's a member at a country club that does not live and die by it? They love it.
You want to know my problem?
I'm trying to think.
It is their identity, especially for a male.
So my brother-in-law is an LACC guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't talk about it much.
Because he can't to you. You're not a member. You're
a peasant.
I wouldn't talk to you about it. Who are you? You're not a member.
Right.
You're not one of us.
You guys don't speak the same language.
Yeah, maybe he's there every day. I don't know.
Yeah, he's just
might
like, why
be.
would I tell?
He just pities you when he's around. He's like, oh yeah, Delilah.
Yeah.
Must have been fun. Come over to LACC. I don't know. I think it's all stupid. My problem too is that the people that I genuinely enjoy playing with aren't members at those places.
Yeah.
And so getting them in to play, I'd have to play with a bunch of people that I don't even like. Now the people there, they grew up with all these people, they know each other. It's all part of this LA scene that I just was never, I didn't grow up here. So I wouldn't even like the crew, I don't think.
I think you would.
Really? You think the Hillcrest crew?
I think any Hillcrest, Wilshire, LACC,
Really?
I'll tell you what. Once the couple cocktails hit,
Yeah. Everyone's the same.
everyone's the
Everyone
same.
talks the same way.
Here's the thing. They're just The thing is
No, they pretend before they get in the club and then they act like normal people
Yeah.
once they're in the club.
Yeah, they just here's my view is that there are all parts of the one thing that bothers me about country clubs more than any other club, because there's clubs everywhere. There's nightclubs, there's members clubs, there's book clubs, there's the only thing that bothers me about country clubs, I'm actually okay with all of their rules. If all the members feel that is what they want to live by, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, I don't either.
My problem is the space.
What do you mean?
The sheer size of space
That's the whole
that country
Malcolm-
clubs take.
That's
so
the
you don't
Malcolm
like
Gladwell.
that.
I actually
Malcolm Gladwell's done like numerous podcasts on this.
What about what space?
Basically, like LA Country Club, Bel Air, Hill,
Whatever.
you name the
taking
club.
so much space.
That the fact that they don't pay property taxes.
Yeah.
He does like a whole spiel on like how much money is lost for the city
He must have
these
got
country
denied
clubs-
somewhere.
He might have
He
been.
probably got denied. And my thing is I actually don't mind if you want to have your little club and make your little rules. I'm good with that. Whatever. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
My problem is just like these country clubs are the best locations in the world.
So you would rather see it be used for other things?
No, I mean, look, some of these courses are like, 4 streets over. Like,
So Malcolm Gladwell's point.
at least consolidate some space.
Got it.
So Malcolm Gladwell's point on this whole thing is he's like, I would go beg whoever he needs to become a member at LA Country Club, because then you are now you own a share of the club.
Right.
And LA Country Club is probably a $20 billion property,
Yeah.
and just get liquidated.
Right.
But it's a nonprofit.
Yeah. What can you even do? What can you even do with
don't
your
own anything.
ownership, quote unquote? Isn't it like how every promoter owns a piece of the club?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Doesn't-
probably that.
You can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it either. It's just not for me. It's just, I think it's really silly.
So you're
and
just comfortable playing public courses the rest of your
like
adulthood.
my friend, like today I played a country club, but it's a mellower, much smaller, not nearly that many rules. I can wear my hat backwards, for God's sakes. I'm fine with it. But I think that there's a massive ball drop happening, which is that golf is cooler than ever. And rappers are into it now, athletes, there's all these kind of streetwear golf brands. Like, it's really, really cool. But there's like a huge divide between...
There's a class system.
Yeah. And like, there's room for someone to top golf the whole thing. Like,
So,
you can
but
make cooler, funner courses.
Someone has to go buy an existing country club and redo it.
So I don't.
So and it has to happen in either LA, Miami.
Yeah.
That's it, right? That's where all the cool young people, or celebrities play. Who?
I think they
you're
do
not
that.
changing anything in South
Can you
Florida.
smoke weed at the country clubs or no?
Well, like, you could in your cart and no one would ever know any different because it's so much space.
Yeah.
Like, you're just out in a field. No one cares. Yeah. But I just think there's I don't know. But I just think, I think the whole, I don't get the club.
Are you watching this season of Curb Your Enthusiasm?
No, I haven't started yet, but I plan on
I mean, the whole season's about his country club.
Yep.
Unbelievable content.
Everybody at a country club, to me, these fancy ones, are
They're all in.
him.
Yeah.
They're all, why am I blanking on his name?
Larry David?
Larry David.
Yeah.
They're all Larry David. They're all like easily bothered.
Yeah.
Don't do that here.
Yeah.
Everything's like a,
Well, he's a rule breaker at the country
Right,
club.
that makes sense.
He's like the menace
that makes
that
sense.
won't follow the rules.
Actually, that makes better sense. Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll see what happens. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. Like, if you guys had to guess, is there some sort of settlement here that happens? Like, what happens?
So they're denying everything. I think what you mentioned right before we started the podcast is if the lawsuit actually gets taken seriously, which my belief is that this country club is so powerful that they probably know the judge, they know the lawyer. It ain't that fucking happening.
Yeah, they're probably trying to get in.
Yeah, they're gonna get
on the waiting list.
The thing will get tossed and nothing will ever happen.
Yeah.
But to your point, if it goes to discovery, we're gonna get some good content.
I would die for that.
The lawsuit's basically that
got
he
denied.
believes he got denied after his dad passed and he inherited his membership because he had a Hispanic heritage.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
And not him, not his wife, just him.
It just said his family. It doesn't. I don't know.
I heard that it was his wife.
It could be. It could be. I didn't read. The LA Times article doesn't go into his wife.
Right.
It just goes goes into him.
So the question is, did he get denied or whatever for a different reason? Yeah. And yelling "Cállate," apparently, allegedly,
but
had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, no, that wasn't him. That was the guy at Hillcrest yelled it to his kids.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
That'd be pretty troublesome for the club.
If it went to Discovery.
Yeah.
I would love to see those emails. You know?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see what happens. Big LA story.
It is.
Can you imagine the back and forth between whoever is the admissions guy and the members?
There's probably some gold in there.
Unbelievable.
But we know who the family is, Winnicks. They're a big family in LA.
They're a very big and very important family.
So why are they getting denied?
There might be some historical beef. Who knows?
Like maybe, I think one thing that I've heard happening at country clubs is like if someone in the family was a member that got a lot of complaints, then they don't want to continue.
Got it.
That, because there are like people get complaints. Like you can literally, like when I played with Eric Weiss, I hit an errant ball,
and he got a complaint,
and he was like, "You should have yelled 4." And I'm like, it wasn't even close to them. And he's like, they're going to complain. So like
this is literally curb. This is exactly what happened.
Yes. So, yeah. So maybe I'm Larry David. But you can definitely like be a nuisance.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a repeated nuisance,
You could be a bad golfer and get banned from a country club?
Well, no, you have to yell 4.
You have to yell 4.
It's
but
respect.
I get if you're drunk and you're like the asshole.
You got to say, you got to follow the rules. I like the rule following. I'm not going to lie. I like it.
I mean,
I think if I would have hit them
this out, Josh,
and I didn't yell 4, I think that's valid. I think my judgment was I wasn't going to hit them or the family or anything. But maybe Hillcrest's response is the father had a lot of complaints and
he didn't yell 4.
He didn't yell 4.
So
he wore his hat backwards.
And so once he passed, they were just like, "Hey,
it's probably impossible to kick someone out. You have to do something bad to get kicked out, I assume. If you just didn't yell 4 for 40 years, it's like, that's enough. You didn't yell 4.
I think if I didn't yell 4 for 40 years and then little drama comes in and says, it's my turn, my membership, they're going to be like, no, you know what? No.
Your dad didn't yell 4? Yeah. Get the 4 out of here.
Get the 4 out of here. We're done with
this. It's a juicy story no matter what for LA people. And it involves a lot of important people.
Yeah, and it's just right up group chats alley because we've talked so much shit about country clubs for a year. It's just great.
I love it.
All right, we'll see what happens. Let's all cross our fingers for Discovery. In the no shit political headline,
similar to a country club,
right? Russia is pretty much the Putin administration is one big country club.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks like 88%. It looks like Putin's expected to win by 88%. With 88% of the Russian vote.
Yeah.
So if you're other 12%, you're probably a little clumsy. You might fall off a building.
Definitely hang too close to windows.
Maybe a hospital bed.
Yep. Like to accidentally ingest poison.
This guy's wiping out everyone.
Yeah.
So this is a 6-year term. He's 71 years old.
Does he just keep renewing 6-year terms for the last?
He can't be stopped.
Yeah, I mean,
is everyone a 6-year term?
Look at his domination, 88%.
But what I don't get is who's. I'm sure the CIA knows who's next because he's 71. Let's assume he lives another 10, 15 years. But the CIA has to play the long game.
Yeah.
But I don't think the CIA is like able to overthrow. Like you're talking about how they overthrow all these governments.
No, meaning like who do we deal with next?
I don't think they would know, right?
I think places like Russia, it's like coups that are backed by somebody.
Yeah.
So unless we're helping back the coup,
I'm sure we've tried.
Yeah. And he catches a wind of anything, you're gone.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
They smoke your ass.
Smoked, done. Yeah. I
throw you out of building.
80% seems low.
Yeah, 88.
That's actually shocking. It should be 99.
It should, yeah.
He should just say 99.9 voted for me.
I mean, wouldn't you be scared to
There's no one counting these votes. I think they just say 88.
I mean, how scared would you be to even cast a vote with your name on it to another person?
You should never cast a vote against Putin.
Right. 88's low. A lot of brave people, 12%.
12% idiots.
Very brave.
Let me tell you, if I lived in Russia, I just would abstain.
Look at like, well, your Russian population drops by 12% next month.
That's the next story, right?
Okay, well, just so everyone knows, that's what's coming. Also, huge story in the world of real estate.
This is going to devastate country clubs. I'll tell you why. Do you get it?
I actually think I have the opposite take. But because I think all the members are selling their houses and negotiating these rates down. So the big news is that there was a kind of standard rate for real estate agents, 6%.
Yep. 3 on the buy side, 3 on the sell side.
Right. And so now if I've read this correctly, that rate is now gone. There is no standard rate. So now it's a case by case. You can negotiate, whatever you decide. So there's going to be all different sorts of approaches to this thing, but it's a pretty big deal because normally you just had to kind of bake in that no matter what. I mean, look, I think we've all known or been a part of stories where the agent didn't really do much. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of times when the agents probably deserved way more than their 3% on their side. But I think there's a lot of times when like you have to shell over that money no matter what. Yeah. No matter how good of a job they did, there's no benchmark you can hit, no timeline, no nothing. And now it's just completely open.
So a couple of things. One, the first big thing that happens is that the cost of homes go down. Because the new model, like, for example...
You're saying because someone can't upsell a house?
No, forget that. It's that 6% will never, ever happen again.
No, but my point is the reason why you incentivize someone is basically like they're going to upsell your house kind of 10%
I think in the pre-internet age, that was possible. Today, homes are being discovered on Zillow, on Trulia, and all these types of things. Like, I don't think the agent is as active participant as they've been 20 years ago.
I've went through it, and to me, the agent was, no disrespect, but like sort of like a project manager, like just did all the things. Yeah. Like, hey, we need to shoot photos, we need to get the listing, we need to whatever. But there was no they didn't find a buyer.
They had an open house.
Right. They didn't get me a higher price because of their Rolodex. No. It was kind of like a service that someone could offer and say, hey, for 50K we do, or for whatever, for X amount per month or retainer, whatever, we handle these things for you.
Yeah. And I think what's going to happen is like, I think lawyers and accountants are going to get the benefit of this. Yeah. And you're just going to be like, all right, I'm just going to pay this lawyer $500 an hour. It's going to be 10 hours of work, $5,000 instead of paying $1 million, $1 million home.
I think Open Door tried to do this. They failed.
Well, they were taking inventory of homes, though.
Right.
That's different.
But they were trying to basically commoditize this process.
Right.
I think the process can be commoditized. Don't buy the homes and hold the inventory. That was their flaw.
Yeah, that was their flaw for sure. Yeah. But my point is that I agree that these real estate agents shouldn't exist.
They're toast. So I think the profession of being a real estate agent is toast. They are also big country club members all over America.
Yep.
I see what you're saying. I was saying more that Hillcrest and those people are the home buyers and sellers, and they just save 6%.
And so I think
why? So because the obvious
question are going to drop.
The obvious question.
Why wouldn't the buyer or seller just soak up that extra?
So
to stay competitive?
You have the room now,
right?
So the obvious question
you're incentivized to sell your house as fast as possible. Like if you put your home on the market, you've already made up your mind. You want to leave. Yeah. If you knew you don't have to pay some schmuck.
Yeah.
With the billboard.
Right.
5%, 6%
but
between the two.
The obvious question is, if you have your house for sale, why wouldn't you just talk to someone and say like, hey, this is the price I want. Is that cool with you?
That's what's going to happen now.
Yeah.
It's over. The entire industry is over.
Yeah.
This summer it kicks in.
Like you sold 2 houses, or I forget.
No, one.
So you sold one house, and wouldn't you have preferred if someone just like rang you up and said, hey,
absolutely,
this is what I'm thinking. Is this okay with you?
Yeah.
Is this the price?
This will be the ultimate, like there's companies like Compass that try to do it and stuff like that. Look, I think basically with some very basic AI software and a lawyer, you can basically cut this thing down to like 0.25%.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about in specifically Los Angeles. I don't know the markets outside of Los Angeles, but there's no houses being sold for $400,000 in LA. Most of the houses are probably $700-800 million bucks.
Yeah.
That's probably your average house in LA. And if you're thinking about, if you buy $1 million house and you pay full pop on buy sell, $60,000 is just disappeared.
Ridiculous.
It's so insane.
And also, I just want to point out the like no shit fact here, because this was surprising to me when I was going through it, because I was a bit of a dummy. Is like, you're not paying $1 million of cash.
Yeah.
And so $60,000 to $1 million, no big deal.
Yeah.
You're paying $200,000 usually, or somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So $60,000 is a meaningful piece of the cash transaction.
Yes.
It's not, sometimes it's easy to think like $1 million, what's a 60 extra grand? Who cares? You have $1 million, but you're not laying out that much cash.
No.
60,000.
It's 60 on 400K. Or 200K.
Right.
Sorry.
It means a lot.
It's a lot.
Like,
of
it's
money.
meaningful in that moment when you're like, oh, I lose that,
Think about it, especially in the home market now, which, and a lot of markets are struggling. All of a sudden, sellers now have 5% to play with. They'll just drop their home 5% and sell it.
And especially with the 5% luxury tax we have in California.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Man, this is going to kill. I mean,
You know how many people are real estate agents?
I mean,
not to take a cheap shot here, but like, I feel like in LA, at least, I'm sure every city has their own version of this. In LA, like, there are so many bottle girls, club promoters, club people who become real estate agents.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's some great ones. I'm sorry, guys, if anyone's listening to this. But, I understand it. It's like, hey, I have a good Rolodex.
Yeah,
what's my next thing? I'm a good people person. What's my next thing?
Yeah, you met all these rich people at your job.
Right. But are you really worth 6% of these homes? We're going to see.
Yeah.
Probably
No,
not.
I mean, it's over. Like, no one is going to accept that. What's going to happen is, I think a technology company, and there are a few in the real estate space. I mean, fuck it. Trulia and Zillow will just be selling homes. You like this home? Swipe your card and fucking buy it.
Right. It's a very outdated.
Yeah.
If you're just matching buyers and sellers of houses.
It's literally, you basically need.
And people will overpay if they want it.
So
simple.
Right.
I rent a house, and the person that rented my house, nice fellow, but what did he do? He just got me in the door, and I looked around, and I was like, great, this is awesome.
Yeah, but so what did he send you a bunch of links or whatever?
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is that's not a commission type of job. That's
now you just go. If I want something, I go on app and find it.
But like anytime I've ever wanted a house to rent or buy, I've said, here's basically what I'm looking for. And someone sent me links that fit that. That's not.
And then once you get to the owner, you don't need the.
Right.
So I have a very great relationship with the owner of where we live.
Yeah.
And I don't need anyone else. So when we extend or whatever, it's just me and him.
But that's the type of work that like an assistant would do.
Correct.
It's like, okay, let me go through all these, filter the ones you'll like and send them to you. It's not a commission.
Yeah.
You shouldn't get some crazy amount if you're buying a $20 million house because you consolidated links.
Yeah.
I understand some real estate agents, find the right
Here's what I think
buyer
a real estate agent matters. I think when you're buying a $30 million home,
Yeah.
I could see I would negotiate it if I were ever in that position. I'd be like, all right, you get fucking $100,000, which is insane.
Yeah.
You're not getting the 3%, which is $900,000.
Right.
But here's $100,000. Go find me my home.
Yeah.
Do all the work, and then make it happen. Because if you're buying a $30 million home, my guess is you're incredibly busy. You want to limit your time spent.
Yeah.
And so paying a flat fee could be high. $100,000 is a shitload of money still.
Yeah.
But that to me makes way more sense than saying, fuck it. Like, you got to pay 3, I got to pay 3.
But even that, $100,000. So a friend that we're all mutual friends with, I just tagged along his $30 to $50 million house jaunt.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't do anything.
He's a real estate agent or a...
No. My friend was looking.
Yep.
And the real estate agent just opened the door.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
it.
It's like
So why would you even pay her or him $100,000?
it's something that you should pay like a retainer for a service while you're looking.
Yeah.
And that's what they do.
But like literally all this person did was open the door and
Just look at the beautiful pool.
It's just
great
a racket.
neighborhood.
It's just a racket. It's just something that's always existed. And so whenever a price is set in, there's no market competition. It's all it is if you can get people to choose you as their agent as opposed to someone else, then you get the 3%. But that's where like being a club promoter would probably be helpful. But it's not because your work is actually the best. Because I think the margins are it's one of those jobs where, like, to be honest, a big part of it is just not being super annoying.
Yeah.
right.
Like if you're just a pleasure to deal with, people will choose you.
You know what I would do if I wanted to break into real estate and be an agent? I would be a real estate agent and just be like, I'm $75 an hour. You buy $1 million, you buy a $200,000 house, you buy a $50 million. I'm $75 an hour. I will do whatever you want.
Yeah, you'll probably crush.
Crush. And you'll make a shitload of money.
Yeah, because you'll have volume.
Yeah. You'll be like, I sold 63 houses this week.
Yeah.
I make $400 a house.
Yeah. You'd crush though. You'd be like,
I would literally start an hourly based. I'm like, these are the amount of hours. You pay me weekly.
yeah.
I spent 10 hours. You owe me $750.
Yeah, that's great. You'd be like a mid-tier lawyer.
And it's such a joke. Like
rate.
when I went to the like luxury home tours, they like give you champagne. Like he's not buying the house because you gave him a fucking glass of champagne.
Right. It's just like, hey, I know I'm
They're
making
making so much money.
$300,000
They
on
can
this.
spend $5,000 on champagne.
Yeah. They're like, we got to pretend we're doing something
And we
valuable.
haven't done jack shit.
Fuck. Yeah.
I got to enjoy the champagne though.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Can we talk inflation real quick?
Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah. What's up?
Inflation's hot.
Are we inflated or?
We're very inflated.
Yeah.
There's an incredible Wall Street Journal article about what things cost. Everything from milk to baby wipes to candy to food, all the different food types.
Yeah.
Everything is so much more expensive than 2020.
Yeah, so I think it's like 23% of all goods since 2020 have increased.
23%?
23, like in aggregate.
Oh, they've increased 23%.
Yeah, so basically like if you owned $1
Yeah.
in 2020, it's 23% more expensive to live in America.
Yeah.
What's happening now? Like, what's causing inflation today?
I think the economy's too hot.
Yeah.
That's all it
You
is.
think people raised prices when it was a struggle and then just haven't dropped them because things are selling well?
Yeah. And I think the American consumer, unemployment's at an all-time low.
Yeah.
The GDP is growing.
Stocks all-time high.
Stocks all-time high. Crypto's hot.
Yeah. Cum rockets on a rocket.
Whiff is still
Whiff,
balling.
dog whiff hat is.
Solana, I think, is about to hit an all-time high.
Lynn, our friend Lynn.
Yeah.
He told me seal with hat is a new one.
Oh, seal with that.
Sounds hot. If dog whiff hat, I can only imagine seal with hat.
It was a $20 million market cap on Friday when he texted me. So let's see.
It should be dick with that.
Can
It's
we
a
look
condom.
what that is? Seal with hat.
That'd work.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, inflation.
I think the economy is just accelerating so fast.
So no one's dropping their prices.
Correct. And everyone's spending.
Fed is not cutting.
Fed's not cutting.
They can't.
That all's bullshit.
Yeah, they can't.
They
can't.
People-
It would be crazy.
Yeah.
Seal with
hands are
hat
so
would
tied.
be,
Their hands
seal
are
with
tied.
hat would be $1 trillion market cap.
But I think that's a good thing that the American consumer is so strong.
Yeah, I just don't get because there's so many stories and people that are very outspoken about how absolutely brutal it is, and they can't afford their groceries.
Yes, I think the inflation.
Are you getting those stories?
I just see, not from, I'm not
'Cause,
hearing them personally. So
I mean, yeah, you're golfing at a country club. No one's
Yeah.
talking about the price of eggs.
Yeah, because I talked to a lot of various folks, and no one seems like they're struggling.
right, but I just think, I don't know.
Yeah, but
We're so in our bubble.
if
on
I was
that.
listening to this podcast and I heard you say that, I'd be like, you're an elitist. You're an
No,
idiot.
I'm talking about like
Give me a person that you talk to that makes minimum wage that's not complaining about.
I take Maverick to breakfast at a restaurant.
I want you to
Saturday
ask him
and
this
Sunday.
exact question.
Yeah.
Is when you go to the grocery store, how do you feel?
He's laying $1,500 on the Arsenal game. So
he's an addict. That's different. That's very different.
That's also happening though. None of it makes sense. Maybe people are gambling and betting on crypto so much that.
Well, Ian Rogers from Ledger actually had an incredible tweet, and he sent me the link. He's like, people keep thinking the meme coins is like this investment class that's getting heat with retail. He's like, it's to him, it's no different than sports gambling. He's like, if you aggregate, think about how much money is bet on sports.
Yeah.
So if you think about it like that, how many people bet like a casual?
So I think I know the number in the US, and think about it globally. It's $500 million bet on American sports.
That's it?
Either on or off.
$500 million?
Books.
That's nothing.
But no, 500 billion.
You said half a trillion.
Sorry, $500 billion. Sorry,
Yeah.
I apologize.
Annually, you're saying.
No, annually. No, 500 billion. I'll say the number.
Yeah.
500 billion on and off the books is gambled on American sports.
So there's plenty to go around
in America.
on
so think about how much is doing globally.
Right.
Yeah. $1 trillion.
More, right?
Yeah, I mean, America, we're half the world.
Yeah.
But think about how much there is for dog with hat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Now everyone has a smartphone.
But what the fuck's going on? There's like, okay, let me ask you this, because we've all seen like.
No, you just eat a little less that night and you fucking go with the hat.
The number of people that I've talked to that are waiters in restaurants that are laying $1,500 a game is kind of shocking.
They make good money. You're also going to very nice restaurants. They're not getting paid $18 an hour. They're getting paid 20 something plus tips. There's
but they look at the Thursday night Amazon game. They're like, yeah, I got $1,500 on the Cowboys.
The best is whenever you're at, like, I remember one time I was at the Benihana on Ventura Boulevard, and it was a huge Thursday night game, Sunday night football game, huge game. My friend was like Eagles and someone.
I literally go to only two places, but yeah, sure.
I go to this Benihana. You've been there, I'm sure, in Ventura Boulevard.
Oh yeah.
The bar is not like a scene or anything like that. There's like two guys watching. Everyone's waiting for a table. I'm watching the game, and I see the stress in the bartender's face. So I go sit down. I order a drink. We're waiting for a group. I'm like, hey, I said, what's going on? Who do you got? And he's like, I'm on the Eagles. And he is so fucking stressed. Yeah. So it turns out he ends up being my waiter.
Yeah.
And we're going back and forth, and I just have my phone up, so I'm checking the score.
Yeah.
He's like literally hovering over me. Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, are you a Philly guy?
Yeah.
He's like, nah. He's like, I got a huge parlay to this team.
Oh my God.
I think if you think about how many people are sports gambling, to think how many people equally, for example, if I was still a sports gambler today, I would go all in on meme coins. It's way more action than a football game.
Well, it's liquid and it's immediate.
And it's 24 hours.
Yeah.
Plus you can, there's the.
So are NFTs going to come back? What's the prediction?
I don't
Because now meme coins are hot.
I don't know if we're that hot.
Problem
Are we
with the
that
NFTs,
hot?
I'm actually quite disappointed. And I know a lot of people listen to the pod are NFT people. If I look at how much money Yuga Labs has raised for Bored Ape, you had a few years to basically build a ton of utility for this, right? Like, if they
How much did they raise?
hundreds of millions of dollars. And I mean, they sold the fucking apes for $100 million, whatever, right? With all the money that you've made as a company, and you didn't build out the utility. Like, remember they were talking about building a members beach club.
Yeah.
If you had done that shit, you had done some of the things that were build a country club.
Yeah.
A Bored Ape country club.
God, I'd love that.
You do act like a monkey. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, yes. Dress like your favorite ape.
Just dress like a monkey, act like a monkey, be a member.
I'd sign up.
That's what you should have done with that fucking money you made.
Yeah.
And I just think if I was an NFT like diehard holder, I'd be disappointed in the utility of these things. You should have built a country club.
The whole thing was a fucking scam. And it's just like the moment all of those valuations dropped, they knew you're out.
Yeah. But
so
I know you're right. You're 100% right. But I just think
with hat works.
Yeah.
Seal with hat seems like it's working to an extent.
But that's just gambling. It doesn't work. It just this is what happens. Someone makes it. It starts to go viral on Twitter and TikTok that this is going to be the next thing. Everyone's still, I think the GameStop thing was like, even though it didn't end well, it's still like people saw a lot of people get really, really rich off of that or perceived that they did.
Yeah.
There's actually a really great article that Gunjan, who was on our podcast during the GameStop thing, she posted her Wall Street Journal article today or yesterday about, this is crazy. Did you know journalists are not allowed to trade options? Because they could have influence.
But politicians are.
But politicians can.
That's horseshit.
So she got allowed by Wall Street Journal to do $500 on Robinhood for a week.
Okay.
To trade options.
Yeah.
And she said she's like a passive investor. She, invests in index funds, whatever.
Yeah.
And basically her first $100 she lost really quickly in an option trade.
Yeah.
Within the week she lost all 500.
Yeah.
But she said during pandemic I was trading options too.
Yeah.
It's so addicting when you were trading options.
Yeah.
You were looking at your phone.
Yeah.
Well,
all day.
Yeah, no, I did the same thing because we were so bored during lockdowns and I was trading options, but I was losing money left, right, and center.
Right.
And I knew that, and I just thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Knowing that, whatever, I'm going to lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never thought I was going to make a fortune.
Yeah. It is fun. I think to bring it all the way back around is like, then okay, great. Then we don't need to cut rates and inflation's up and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just like, there's all these stories about like record numbers of 30-year-olds living at home with their parents.
That's why they have so much money.
Right. So that's just fine.
Yeah,
Then just live with your parents and gamble your rent money.
One of the articles we have is about couples are embracing the DINK label. So DINK is double income, no kids.
Right.
Think about it. If you're double income, no kids,
life is cheap.
Rich.
Yeah. DINK sounds like a hot coin.
That should be a coin.
We should do it. And it's only for people who are married with no kids.
Yeah.
DINK coin.
It blow up overnight.
But I think the larger point is there's going to be such a transfer of wealth that we've talked about for so many podcasts.
Yeah.
That
That's
this
just all
generation's
gone,
fine. It's just our kids are fucked.
Why?
Yeah.
No, because we're going to get the wealth.
They're going to blow the boomer wealth on fucking dog with hat
and DINK.
No, DINK coin?
Yeah. And then your kids' generation will be left with nothing.
Yeah. So I think we're good for 30 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're good past that.
Right. So the economy's probably going to be hot for the next 30 years.
I don't think there's any way it can't be. The boomers are transferring $70 trillion.
That's going to take 100 years to spend.
Right.
So maybe we're 100 years out.
I think you'd be surprised. You give all these these people have been living at home with their parents and they just got like $3 million.
I saw Risa posting a Revolve Festival. You think they don't want to go there?
Yeah, this new H-Wood membership. They're like, fucking, what's this get me? Mom just kicked the bucket and left me with $4 million. I'm trying to go to fucking Super Bowl, bitches.
I'm trying to go to everything.
Yeah. I got a house. I finally get to move out of the basement into the master.
But that's my point, is that they're all going to inherit. They're going to inherit homes too. Is buy homes.
Yeah, they did.
And so these kids are going to inherit the homes.
They get a free home.
Because
it's paid off.
Yes. Everything's
That's why
paid
it's
off.
not going anywhere.
No, I'm saying we're good for 30 years.
Leverage the home, buy dog with hat. You don't have to pay your 6% anymore.
Yeah, you're saving there. When you sell your home, when it's all gone.
I'm telling you, I don't think
this whole thing is a circus.
The next
this whole
30
thing
years,
is bullshit.
Yeah. The next 30 years,
in a really fun way.
There's the stimmy's coming.
Yeah, stimmy's from the boomers.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then fuck it. Buy your dog with hat.
Yeah,
we're fine. Right. So inflation. There's no reason for prices to come down.
They're not coming down.
They can't.
It's can't. Impossible. People have too much money.
This is what I said last year. I said, I do not believe the Fed can cut interest rates. Everything I saw last year told me that you cannot cut interest rates.
The only thing that could cut interest rates is the election.
Right.
Because Trump, he's cutting.
I mean, Trump's getting to zero.
But I think they're cutting. Yeah. I think they're cutting before Trump to try to. That was always my theory, but maybe they don't need to. They got it. Don't you think that this year, I mean, it's March?
Yeah.
they're going to pull out any and every trick. They still have not replaced old Sleepy. So now,
I think I have to take back my prediction. He's the candidate.
Oh, your prediction was to swap him out?
It was Gavin. I don't think he's getting swapped.
I mean, you don't have to be like coherent to be president.
You're going to have to do every trick in the book.
I thought by now Gavin would be the candidate.
You have to cut interest rates by the summer then. You can't cut it in September. People need to feel the problem.
They gotta legalize marijuana.
The danger is if in September, Trump's up by a couple points and you start going to the pump, gas is gas is up again in LA.
Right. Because Trump's trying to
you
drill,
start
baby,
going
drill.
and you say, oh, fuck, food's up. This is up. That's up. I didn't get to go on a summer vacation this year.
Right.
Here's the thing about finances and the way people perceive their financial situation.
Mm-hmm.
It is everything due to this term called consumer confidence.
Mm-hmm.
If consumer does not have confidence, then it doesn't matter how well they're doing.
Yeah.
There are times last year where even really wealthy people would be like, oh, I'm not spending any money. And I was like, what are you talking about? You're richer than shit. But like, they felt like if you feel, and that's what's happening right now is that consumer confidence, that's what's hurting Sleepy, is that
it's on an ultimate high, you're saying?
No, I actually think consumer confidence is low.
Do you really?
I know it's been steady, but it's perceived confidence. They're not doing there with the wallet. The wallet is spending, but I think
you're saying they don't feel comfortable with what they're spending, but they're still spending it.
Yeah, they're still spending it. But I think when they go and spend it, they're like, you know what? Fucking Sleepy cost me $4,
right,
for eggs or something.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's the most confusing economy in the history of my adulthood.
Yeah.
Because like 08, 09 was very clear. Like everything was fucked.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, zero interest rates. And as you look back, you're like, okay, yeah, now in hindsight, I understand why everything ripped. And now I am just unclear how you have an economy that should be declining.
Right.
And it's not.
I feel like COVID just broke brains.
The stimmy's been done.
I know, but I think that like
you're forgetting, I know
we're
everyone
still
gets
printing
mad that, whatever, we're out of touch. Low income workers got a massive wage increase. And here's the thing. It may have gone from 15 to 20 and you may still feel like you're underpaid, but that $5 increase is over 30% in wage increase.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people in the low income wage side of things got a huge bump. And unfortunately, inflation went along with it. But I would say net, but you still are above inflation.
So Stimmy stopped 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So what's the dynamic that's pumping the economy?
The way
low unemployment. If everyone's
because
walking around,
credit card debt is at all time high.
But
so they're just like, hey, I know I'm going to.
But assets are inflated. Homes are still going up in price. Nothing's going down.
No, nothing's going down. But my point is that it's just a function of everyone knows they're getting the next check, so they're willing to spend.
Yes.
That's it, right?
Who's getting fired?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I keep trying to jump in and I'm like, no, that's not right. And I'm like, oh yeah, but no, that's not right. The only thing I think is interesting is when you see the stories of credit card debt at an all-time high and people living with their parents much longer. I think it's just like, okay, so is it all fake?
They're just waiting for their parents to pass.
Literally just maxing their credit cards. Like, can die already?
It should be, I have a funny meme. It's like a bunch of millennial
So we have
kids.
basically like 100 million Menendez brothers.
Yeah. Just plotting.
Yeah.
Like if this fucking Visa calls me, you're dead.
Yeah.
We're going to speed this up.
Ready to
bunch
die.
Of Putins, bunch of windows. What were you saying?
A good meme would be the Biggie Ready to Die cover.
Yeah.
But it's like
mom and dad.
That's literally
and
it.
just the kid in the basement looking like he's fucking
That's
dead.
the only explanation.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, fuck. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Everywhere else in the world, people stay at home with their parents They get married, have kids, and they basically do that exact.
Yeah, of course.
America's the only place where you leave your house.
Right.
That's true. But I think it's also
But if you think about so many different countries, like Egypt, for example, 80% devaluation of their currency.
Yeah.
Argentina, I think it's like some ungodly amount of inflation that you can't even use your currency.
Yeah. Plus, I would argue, at least my perception, maybe I'm wrong, but
it's just America that's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
India's hot.
Get used to it.
I think India is borderline hot.
So there was a chart that was showing the direct correlation. So China, American investment is basically zero. It stopped.
China to what, sorry?
America to China investments is basically zero, right?
Yep.
Like no one's investing in China anymore. And then directly correlated is India is happening. I talked to when I was at that conference 2 weeks ago, Montgomery conference, I ran into a lot of people from India. And I was like, what's up with the engineers? You got any good people for cheap? And he's like, he's from Bangalore. He's like, my friends work for Indian companies. They're very senior engineers. They make $200,000 in India.
Yeah.
That is fuck you money in India.
Yeah, that's definitely fuck you money. But I think the thing with India, because Modi is effectively Putin, he's become a dictator.
And they all love him. Everyone I talk to in India, I asked.
Well, they're not allowed to say differently.
Well, he hasn't run them astray.
And you only have capital controls $250,000 a year. So the billionaires can't get out.
Yeah.
So he's keeping everyone in. The Ambani wedding is being forced in July in Bombay. I was told it was supposed to be in an Italian city.
Yeah.
And now Modi's like, nope, it's in India. So he's telling every billionaire, your weddings for your lavish kids are happening in India.
So I mentioned that to this person that I met in Montgomery conference. He's like, good. It's great for India. Mother India.
So
Mother India.
actually,
they're nationalists.
Yeah. So my mom said the same thing. And then I was like, Mom, do you realize this is a dictatorship? Yeah. This isn't a democracy. Everyone praises. Everyone praises India as a democracy. Let's just change the delineation.
No, it's like this is the new model for a lot of these countries. It's like you can make money.
No, she was like, my mom said at first, she was like, yeah, good. Yeah. The wedding should be here.
Yeah.
I think it's like a business.
When I explained it to her, she was like, you're right.
I think it's like a business. When you're pulling yourself out of the dumps, you got to be a little dictatory.
Yeah.
Once things are all good, you loosen up and you have more of a true democracy. But it seems like that model
doesn't work because the American consumer is crushing. And we have the most divisive country of any of the major economies in the world. And the American consumer is going to fucking TGI.
No,
Fridays.
We don't have a Chili's.
I will say that, like,
we don't have a divisive economy.
I think
we have a divisive country.
But I think when America
it doesn't matter though, because that's
my point.
No, but it's fake.
That other model doesn't work.
My argument would be that, and maybe I'm reaching, but that when America's already hot, we've been hot. I think when America was becoming hot, the companies were able to act like dictators, like Carnegie, and like the way that they handled employees was insane. But that's what like built the kind of foundations.
I think America's history, and this is, if you look.
So you think India and all these countries are like basically 50 years behind?
I think they're 100 years behind.
Yeah. But like the Carnegie family and Rockefellers.
So I was driving back from our second kid summer camp or whatever, nice summer camp, glamping trip today. We left early in the morning. We're driving by Santa Barbara, and I'm looking at these missions.
Yeah.
And when you think about like the history of America, like obviously people came and took the land, right? Like it was ruthless what they did.
Yeah.
And I was looking and I was like, imagine showing up here like in, 1450.
Yeah.
And you're like, what a fucking view.
Yeah.
Who lives here?
You're like, I'll take it.
You guys? Boom, boom, boom. Bye. See you later. America's history is very ruthless.
Yeah.
And we get the benefit sitting here talking about freedom and free speech.
Today we get to talk shit about the government and Joe Biden on a podcast. But I think if you talked shit in those days about Andrew Carnegie, I think some weird shit would happen to you.
Yeah.
Or the Vanderbilts or the, like, I think, I don't know. Like I said, it feels kind of like a reach, but it feels like it takes dictatory mentality
to get to the point.
Yeah.
To get to
and then you
point.
earn like this thing that we have now where we get to talk shit on a podcast.
You basically like, how do you reel it back in?
Well, that's the hard part, right? I think
because
that's
like America actually did. So I understand what you're saying.
I think that's immigration. That was 100% immigration. I don't think India ever works at the scale of America unless you have diversity of thought and diversity of
because Modi's 71, so he's going to be in power for at least
50 years.
I think America got to such a money printing machine that you can afford to not care what the masses do. Because so many people are making so much money off of America. Whereas right now in India, I would imagine it's a relatively small group compared to the American group. Or China or whatever. Like to me, China's a good example of they had the right blueprint and now they're fucking it up.
Right.
You know, and like one child policy, they got themselves into some issues. Like they kind of, you were right at the precipice of sort of, but you got there because of this capitalism thing, but now you're kind of going back to dictator. It just seems a little tough, but
yeah, I think India's on that basically kind of borderline. Like they could either make it an incredible country,
right,
or they can just fuck it up.
And keep in mind, I would rather, of course, everything be peace and love and equality. That's what I would love. But I'm just curious, non-emotionally, if in order to take a country from the dumps to prosperity, if you have to have some dictator vibes. Yeah.
I think you have to.
And then you earn democracy.
Yeah.
I wonder.
And you know, it's funny. That's the exact conversation with really smart kids. I'm talking Ivy League, brilliant, educated people that I would spend time with in China. Yeah. And I would poke holes. And I've said this on the podcast. I'd poke holes about China, pollution, this,
and now they're wrong, right?
But they are wrong now because I think Xi fucked it up, right? But everything he said at that moment made sense to me. Yeah. He was like, the Industrial Revolution in London in the 1920s, do you know what the pollution was? And I was like, no. Who the fuck knows what that is? And he tells me, and it's way worse, you know, to compare it to like what Guangzhou was at that moment. Right. And so he keeps using all these counter arguments to everything I would say. And I was like, you know what? I respect that like every country, every society has to be somewhat ruthless to get to a point. Yeah. And then you hope to get to a point where there's some normalcy. Right. And I think in China, unfortunately, COVID was, to me, if I was them, that was the opportunity. Yeah. Where you know what I would have done if I was Xi? I would have played the other way and said, we're open. Right. We know how to handle this crisis. Right. Yep. We are the best country in the world.
Tempting. Yep. If you got some leftover dictator vibes, COVID was so tempting.
I know, that's a problem. But to me, that was the imagine if China was open.
I agree. If it was like Texas.
And everyone's like, fuck it, where are you going this weekend? I'm going to Shanghai.
Yeah. Well, that's what Dubai won.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Middle East took advantage of that.
Yeah.
They realized that was a good chess move by but did China know something about the virus that it could potentially...
You think so?
It should have been the opposite. I mean, now that it's over...
No. I'm saying, but if you think about back, they created the virus. Yeah. We all know.
Yeah. Both them and Fauci. Fauci funded the lab. He knew what's going on there.
Gain-of-function research.
Come on.
I got it.
Let's be honest.
Did they know something that it could have potentially mutated to... where they were like, holy shit, like we could actually kill a population.
You think he cares about his people that much?
No, because they're in a declining population.
Yeah. So he thought, okay, my people are going to get wiped out.
To do the gameplay, right? Yeah. Like, what's his move? He doesn't give a fuck about these people. I know that.
But think about this.
It's the control.
But it's the control is too tempting. Because think about this. Just play this out in your head. China essentially copied what America did, which is weird because it started there, which is like lockdown, open up, lockdown. If you honestly thought this could be like a very deadly thing, they would have played it way stricter, actually. And we would have now been like, damn, they outplayed us. But instead, they sort of copied our policies. Like, I think...
Well, no, they created the policy and we copied them.
But didn't they? I remember when I was dealing with Chinese factories and things, there was a moment when they were trailing us.
Yeah.
Like we were open, they were still locked. Then they opened, then there was like this back and forth of a trailing thing.
There was a
and they were late
because when Shanghai was open and we were locked, and I was like, a friend texted me.
And then it switched at one point.
I'm partying in Shanghai. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then I'm fucking suck at home.
Yeah. It switched at one point too. Either way, my point is, I think it was so tempting if you've got a little too much of a heavy hand, and we all played it wrong. I think the US played it wrong. I think China played it wrong. I think obviously not Dubai or Texas or Florida.
Yeah.
Or some places. But like, I think it was just too tempting.
Yeah.
You have all this control. Everyone's scared and they're saying, what do we do next? To say, don't worry about it. Let me hand over this control and say, you guys go do whatever you want to do. It's too tempting to like, okay, I'll tell you what to do.
The China move, chess move.
I know it could have been.
No, but do you think the Xi chess move was basically like, look, I have this moment of time where everyone's locked down and I can install way more cameras, way more everything, and just lock down the fucking country.
Yeah, I think that's what he did.
Because Kevin, who was on the pod, said he couldn't believe how many cameras there were.
Yeah, and I think, unfortunately, that is a turnoff for the best and brightest in the world, who at a time were going back to China to build companies.
They had a shot.
I think if you're in the government of any
here's
country.
The thing, but like a local politician in LA that's shutting down restaurants, like what power did...
They have power.
Barbara Lee, what's her name?
Yeah,
was that her name?
That was a power move.
But you're going to be voted out, and like
I know,
it doesn't matter.
Think about this. Think about of all the companies we've been a part of or whatever. Think about how it's really tempting to put. Like I remember at one point we had a thumbprint scanner at the door of our office to see what time people came in. We lunch. Like there's this kind of desire to control more and more.
Yeah.
Everyone put their monitors facing out so that we can see them because we caught someone watching movies, blah, blah, blah. I think it's the same as a government. And I think COVID...
It's way more.
Agreed. But I think COVID time was a dream come true for a heavy-handed government. Everyone was scared. They're willing to do whatever. They're willing to go get little passports that let them travel. They're willing to eat if you tell them to eat, not if you don't. Stay home, go out, do whatever you want. I think it's like a dream.
My point is the local politician that's making, $85,000 a year.
Yeah,
exactly.
What it is. It's
That's
the same. It's the same as the security guard.
Fuck you, on, and you want to go to whatever restaurant.
It's the same as the security guard at the mall that just is flexing his power too much. It's like,
I get why Xi does it.
I know, but what has Barbara Lee done since then that made her feel as powerful as telling everyone they couldn't go to their favorite restaurant?
You know how many shitty managers are going to wake up tomorrow and just shit on their staff?
Yes.
For no reason.
Yes. And that was, I think, for a day, if you get to be king for a day, king for a year.
Yeah.
Tell people when they can eat. You're fucking taking that.
Yeah.
Barbara.
Yeah, Barbara. I don't know if it's Barbara Fry or Lee.
Yeah, I don't know.
But one of the
it was
two.
Barbara.
Either way, she fucked us. Yeah, whatever.
All right. The only last thing I want to talk about, which is super fascinating.
Yeah.
Waymo, which is the autonomous driving company, has been live in San Francisco.
They're hot in LA.
And now they are live in LA.
Yeah, they've been,
So I think autonomous cars, that's a deflationary thing for me. The problem is today, I'm sure because of insurance and just general fear. From what I've heard, there is a human being in the car still.
Oh, but they're only taking over in case of emergency.
So they're still in that testing mode. And the price of the drive itself is not necessarily cheaper than Uber or Lyft. But longer term, if we can get this robo-taxi thing going, can you imagine the cost of transportation locally when there are no humans involved?
Right.
Yeah.
Then you're talking about like an Uber ride would be like $5.
That's the answer to so much.
The one thing that gives me hope about inflation. So I'll give you an example. I've been obsessing the last couple of weeks with AI chatbots internally for internal use cases.
Mm-hmm.
AI chatbots for internal use cases.
Like a company directory type thing? Or?
I'll give you an example. Everyone goes to accounting every day.
Yeah.
If you're a salesperson.
Yeah.
Hey, how much credit does this person have?
Yep.
How much money do they owe us?
Yep.
How much? It takes our accounting team so much time.
Yeah.
We are building a WhatsApp bot to solve that problem.
Yeah.
Stop fucking bugging this person for this job, right?
Yeah.
So now the accounting person's productivity explodes because they're not dealing with everyone who has access to the information. They doesn't want to look it up. It's work, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. Everyone's just relying on the easiest option. So it is a text WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
You could put the fucking company name.
Yeah.
Ask them if they owe us money or not.
Yeah.
That is an enormous productivity booster for our company.
Yeah.
And there are so many use cases across the company where we are building AI-driven bots just to help the efficiency of people internally.
Yeah.
That's where I'm very bullish on this one increase of productivity and a deflationary environment, because with autonomous cars and potential opportunity to lower the cost of things,
Yeah.
we should be in a better place.
No, so I totally agree, and I get what you're saying, because I've, dove into the space, but it's basically a white collar problem.
Yeah.
Meaning like you don't need 10 more accountants.
Yeah.
You don't need 10 more people in finance.
Yeah.
And so I think AI basically removes so much of high educated people of getting jobs.
I just wonder, like,
there'll be new jobs.
The way Dee explained it was it's a huge boost of productivity for accounting because they can focus on more meaningful issues.
Yeah.
But you need fewer people, right?
Well, I wonder.
I don't know. I think here's the thing is I'm not willing to hire an additional person.
But here's what I wonder is if Ghost it becomes a $1 billion company because of all this productivity, you would have a bigger accounning department.
Yeah.
Than getting stuck.
Yeah.
Like,
with the nonsense.
That's just what I wonder. Like
it'd be marginally.
To me, it feels like it had to have felt the same when a computer with Excel first hit the market. You'd be like, what? Yeah. What about all these people that are writing it in their ledgers? And it's like, well, no, it's going to actually increase.
I think that's the way we have to look at innovation.
I totally agree. I just think the white collar jobs get crammed.
I think in the short term, it might be confusing.
It'll be new jobs.
New jobs. But I think net, it's expansive.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that now. I think we've just always.
I know everyone said that, like, when the typewriter came,
the wheel.
The wheel.
But think about how like crazy automated like Excel is. That probably killed so many jobs of people that used to just write in fucking notebooks. But no one accounting.
Just look at the history of America.
Industry.
Wait, 100 years ago.
All right. So here's a good question. How many employees do you have right now?
I don't want to say.
Can we just get a % increase you think the next year will be?
A lot, because of what we're doing, what we're growing. So,
but in what divisions?
Engineering.
Okay.
That's probably where we'll 100% grow in engineering.
But the rest of the
company would probably grow 25%.
That's a lot.
Yeah. But engineering would grow.
And how about you, Drama?
Grow next year probably by percentage, probably 30 to 40%.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And what
so
position?
Jay Powell doesn't want to hear that.
Mainly, yeah.
Jay Powell's gonna fucking
that's what I'm saying. I know.
Yeah. Creative.
Yeah.
to be a little vague on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a massive increase.
I agree. Wish me luck.
America's booming.
Fingers crossed.
So, they work from home, or they have to show up? What can I get a job?
Sure, come on in. We have
a bot for you. We're replacing you.
I think pretty soon we're going to get an office, like an official office, and if you want me to save you a room with Trump
I don't know,
speeches
they
on
might
it.
kick me out.
Yeah.
They're getting you.
I'll keep one for you. Yeah. Well, I'll have the Trump speech feed, and you can hang out and watch Bloomberg and yell at people. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm
feel
bullish on AI improving productivity, creating new jobs, like every innovation piece historically.
Yeah, no, of course. That's what Mark Andreessen always says. Like everyone says, the next new technology eliminates jobs, but
It eliminates certain jobs, but it creates new ones.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we would have never had Cum Rocket if it wasn't for
I know.
the internet or
Ridiculous.
Web3.
Yeah.
Praise the cum rocket gods.
The one thing that won't change is country clubs. They have too much land. They're good.
There's no AI in country clubs.
Nah.
They're analog.
You know what's really funny is like
There's
the
no one
new.
even has the initials AI.
This is what's so stupid, but I'll give you an example how it already is impacting, quote unquote, even though this isn't real, is the new Callaway. So every year, the like 5 biggest club companies come out with a new driver. That's like the marquee product. That's what they market. That's what you see on the commercials, all of it. The Callaway Club is called the AI Smoke. And the whole gimmick is they use AI to analyze thousands of hits to make sure that wherever the ball hits on the face of the club, it's still perfect. But like, so that's obviously bullshit, but like they're already like AI is already on the branding. Yeah.
AI in golf is ridiculous.
Who knows it? Some of these clubs, they might be able to analyze your family history with some AI.
Just be like, you're not as white as you said you were.
Our
Hispanic.
Our
You're
chatbot came
Hispanic.
back. Yeah.
You're Hispanic.
Chatbot came back and said, there's some Hispanics somewhere in there. Oh, man. All right.
Oh, my God.
Is that it?
All right, we got some shout outs.
Shout outs. It's episode 850, by the way.
850 episodes.
This is crazy.
The consistency.
I mean, we're dedicated.
I think Rogan's only at like 2,000-3,000. We're close.
We're going to catch him.
Yeah.
What's crazy is like the podcast, 850 episodes. And I was thinking, I didn't do a Run Club this weekend, but Run Club is now approaching 7 years old.
Wow.
And at some weeks, 5 people show up. Some weeks, 30 people. It just, consistency to me matters so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
It's
something to be
unbelievable.
said for just saying you're going to do something and doing it
Yeah.
every week or whatever.
You just have to do it.
Yeah.
All right. Shout outs from Mark. Shout out to GCP putting out incredible content twice a week for years. Mark, we used to do 3 times a week.
Yeah. Come on.
Twice a week is more recent.
Yeah. This
mean,
guy's a
grown
We
to be-
newbie.
appreciate
years.
your knowledge, commentary, and your personalities. Always look out for your pod. In my feed, never miss an episode. You never ask for money unless it's for a very worthy cause, like a charity or joining Chatty Cathy's, which more than pays for itself. No ads, no promo, just sharing yourselves. Your time to build with and to benefit us, your listeners. Really appreciate you and wish you a great, well-deserved weekend. Wow, what
How
a
kind.
great 850 episode
it's a
shout
great
out.
That was
Shout
kind.
out.
Let's get more of those, guys. You know what I mean? People are always asking us to, hey, can you shout out my wife's soap brand? I'll give you 20% off. Why don't you just give us props?
From Adam. Shout out to the entire pod. I'm a bartender in Austin. I'm taking the non-financial advice and building my own 401k with S&P 500 investments.
Smart. Good
Play the
job.
long game, Adam.
My guess, if Adam pulled all the bartenders in Austin, he's the only one doing this.
You know what they call?
Oh, for
I
sure.
don't know
They're
if you
all in-
watched CNBC or
with that.
Bloomberg in the last week. They called the Magnificent Few.
They did.
It went from
They dropped the
7
7.
to few.
That's fair. That's fair.
From Mike, shout out to the group chat crew. You guys deserve a shout out. Thank you,
Wow,
Mike.
everyone's so kind.
Yeah. From Brandon,
This
not a
feels
shout
fake.
out.
This feels fake.
But can we get a Pete update? Yeah.
We have no idea.
What's funny is
He just texted us. He just texted us and said,
he's doing some golf Zen shit.
yeah, and he's like, hey, you want to do a reunion? And
You know
then
what?
I feel like Brandon might be Pete.
Oh, it's a good one.
Fuck you, Brandon.
What are the
Fuck
chances?
Pete.
850 episodes.
Look at the second.
From Nate. Shout out Ari for pulling a Pete and cool guying the pod. We need updates. Here's what I told you guys. All the people who've been down with us from day one. Danny was OG. Chad.
OG.
OG. Pete. Tim. Ari. All great kids.
Yep.
But when you leave,
You never hear from them.
you never come back.
I
You're
know.
dead.
Yeah. I mean, is Ari still in our group chat? I think
Yeah,
he
he
is.
is. He is.
We
It's
should
really
delete him.
strange. I don't know why he's in there still.
I have a shout out.
Okay.
Gabrielle Labby ran the LA Marathon and raised a ton of money for Mav.
Oh,
So,
that's amazing.
Aw, that's so good. That was this morning.
yeah.
I saw it.
Is
I
the
can see it on my
marathon
window.
route different?
Yeah, it's different. So apparently,
end at the sea
no.
anymore.
So apparently, Santa Monica charges too much money. I read, and so they end at Century City.
It's owned by Frank McCourt,
I don't know who owns
and it's a
anything.
nonprofit, and he's a billionaire.
And I was told, like, typically you end at Santa Monica.
No,
which is
last year
what
was
you
Century
did.
City.
Yeah.
When I finished, I landed at the beach.
I do have to say, like, I don't want to, like, whatever, but, like, I can see it from my window. And I saw, just in the couple times that I looked out my window to just watch, I saw 3 different times homeless people, like, accosting the runners.
No way.
Yes. Like cutting across the middle of the street, like, well, like people kind of jumping around them, like people out in the middle of the
So
road.
we went to the finish line. There's tons of cops
Yeah.
Yeah.
at
You
the
have
finish
to.
line.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's too risky nowadays with that many people.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. I've watched it every year a little bit just from the window, and
Oh, you probably have a nice view.
it's great.
Yeah.
But there was multiple times of homeless people in the middle of the road, like, you know, messing with people.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
I have an idea. Just when we're wrapping up, you know how around the neighborhoods you see like poop bags for dogs. Yeah. Poop bags for humans. Today,
What's the
at
difference?
Pan Pacific Park, which is a park next to the Grove, this park is extremely busy, fucking 7 days a week.
Yep.
We are there playing sports every weekend. I'm Dominic at his baseball game. We're at the Miles wants to play baseball too, so we're at the side. I'm not joking. The amount of human shit I had to dodge.
Are you sure it's not dog shit?
No, I know what dog shit looks like. This is like a big pile of shit.
And this is because I'm very familiar with the park. I'm curious where.
So like near the basketball court where the grass is,
Okay.
we're playing catch. Shit.
So you're saying like a little dispenser where the gentleman, or I guess lady who shits, just goes over, grabs a bag, bags up their poop.
Pay them to do it. What is that worth to us as a society? We pay taxes. Okay.
But we already pay some stupid organizations millions of dollars to handle this problem.
Yeah.
With our tax dollars.
So what's interesting is in the valley where my kids go to school, on the exit, I see the North Hollywood. They built like 150 small little homes for homeless people.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool. It's like basically little cabins.
Okay.
It's really well done. They've done an incredible job with it. It's in like an empty mall parking lot.
Our biggest issue is we're not solving the second half of the problem. So in my home invasion, clearly he should not have invaded my home.
Right.
But we're not solving whatever his problem is.
Why don't you just see him all the way through and see what happens?
I mean, I would love to. I just don't know where he is now.
I bet you I can find him in 10 minutes.
If you find him, I will literally just
What's his name?
I don't know his name. But my point is, I want to see a
result.
a case. Like, does it work or does it not work?
It doesn't work.
Let me tell you
Verdict's
something.
in. Look at the numbers. It doesn't work.
Or do they go back on drugs?
Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Every time.
Okay.
Look at the numbers. The sheer numbers tell you that.
Okay, so if you find out what drama says is true, where it says you put the effort in, let's say you dedicated 3 months to rehabilitate this person and he ends up in the same situation, what would you do then? Because right now you're apologizing for unlocking your door. It's your fault.
Yeah, you did.
You are the woke idiot.
That's so woke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see there was a story about like a journalist or someone?
You call me Jussie Smollett, so relax.
Both woke.
So which one is it? Did he come in or not?
I'm in a bit of a conundrum here. I can't live in a house. It's too crazy. Anyway, listen.
So how do we solve this?
No.
That's all I'm asking.
You don't want to know, you as a wokey do not want to know what the real answer to solving it is.
What is it?
Put everyone in jail.
Yeah, but we can't keep funding jails for people that...
Why? We funded the homelessness and we got nowhere.
Right.
That's the counter argument to it.
That's the part that gets me.
Can I tell you a story? And
please.
I don't think...
If you're going to hide things, then we don't want to hear it.
No, I'm not hiding anything. So John Legend, who's the biggest Gascon fan, threw a hissy fit at an FBO recently because his plane wasn't big enough.
FBO private airport.
Yeah, FBO's private airport. And he's the one supporting Gascon.
Right, that is the epitome of the whole thing.
The woke movement.
That's you and your people.
No, not me.
Until Robert runs in your front door. And then you start apologizing for leaving it open.
Yeah.
But I think that's that's crazy, right?
Yes.
I mean, whatever. I don't care about his, maybe in a shitty plane. I don't have a problem with that.
But my point is, you want to get...
How small was this plane?
I've been in some, I mean, I've
Before
never paid
we
for a
judge.
private plane,
Right.
but I've walked into some planes. I'm like, it's a little too small.
Yeah. Before we judge, maybe we should see this plane. But no.
No, my point is about John. He's literally campaigning publicly on Instagram nonstop for Gascon. But your private plane wasn't big enough, but you want to let criminals out.
But that's the epitome. You sound MAGA right now. And I like it. But you're that's the Hollywood elite argument of like, you want to do what sounds good and what makes you look good and virtue signal, but you don't actually
believe that shit.
Address the real problem. You're turning.
My
I like this just in
point
time.
is, I
It's almost
actually
November.
want to see how you do the
We're
second
dropping
part.
red GCP hats.
No, but I want to see how you handle the second part.
I think, unfortunately, look, I think that there might be a better way, and I'm sure that there is. But I think that from what I have heard and read is that if you punish, if you say like, hey, you can stay in these areas, we have areas for you, but you can't do drugs here. From what I hear, that happens sometimes, and people choose to leave because they want to do drugs, and you can go do drugs out in the street. So you either stay here and stay clean, or you go out and do drugs. But if you do drugs, you get caught, you go to jail. And then you're going to have people in jail. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to a decision to make. Do you want to stay here and have a warm place to live and get clean, or leave and go do drugs and get arrested and go to jail? But I wish there was a third option, and maybe someone could privatize that and do a really good job at it. But right now the government absolutely can't. It's a little harsh, but it leads to cleaner streets and a safer city. But I think you have to deal with that harsh fact that a lot of people would be in jail that probably have mental health problems. And I don't,
So we should probably have mental health jails, right?
I don't know the problem. I don't want to speak on it because I don't know what.
You can't burden the hospitals.
Right, but there's mental facilities and things. I don't know enough.
I don't think we have enough. We have so many. So do you know how much money's been made in private jails?
Yeah.
So why don't we have private mental health jails?
I think that that would be canceled. I think that theory, that's what they're trying to stop with the privatized prisons. The woke ideology is that is all bad and evil and terrible. And so you need to lock up less people, stop privatized prisons, defund police, stop this whole racket. So if you said now let's add privatized mental health facilities, they'd say, great, now you're going to have an incentive to go round these people up who are good people who just need a chance to get back on their feet.
So my point is, isn't there a business in that? Because as much money's been made, money's been made in privatized jails, why can't we make money in privatized?
The woke would never allow that.
Who's going to get into that right now and risk getting skewered?
Soros.
Soros is the other guy. Soros wants chaos. He wants Robert to live in your house.
Yeah.
He doesn't want you to just...
He wants to take a shit in your house.
He doesn't want Robert to just be able to come in your house. He wants you to offer Robert a room.
Yeah. You have an extra room. Have mom sleep on the couch. That's what you want?
Yeah, come on. Democracy.
But no, I don't you think there's a business there?
There is, but I think it is toxic. I think you can't touch it right now. You will be destroyed. That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree.
If you say I'm getting into the business of mental health, in
masses
with locks,
there's clearly
there's a huge business opportunity.
What the TAM is.
100%. But you thinking that way.
You love TAM, D.
I love
What's
TAM.
the TAM?
But if you opened and you saw all this around LA as TAM, you would be looked at as the evilest guy on earth.
So I guess if you want to actually solve the problem is the TAM for mental health in America is very large. Is the TAM in every country large, or is just America that large? And if it is that's large in America,
I think other countries just don't allow it.
You don't allow that mental health.
No, they just shoot him.
What do they do in other countries? I don't know. But look, the problem
That's my point is that
have you seen a homeless person in London?
I feel like now there would be, no?
You have?
Yes.
How about in Italy when you were in all these fancy places?
I was not in fancy places in Italy.
Okay.
So I didn't. Shockingly, Italy is actually quite cost effective when you're not in Como or whatever.
But that's my point. You saw like 2 homeless people in London, probably.
But I wonder what they do. They have a system that could be copied. It's cool right now to say, no, they should be able to be out. Same way, like you should be able to rob a house and get out that night.
Yeah.
And rob the house again.
Because you were unfortunately set up for failure as a child.
Because the system is...
Not blame the parents, not blame anyone.
Or not blame your choice in that moment. I mean, so much, our whole lives are based around the fact that we have choice.
Of course. And I think the problem, but I do believe in that instance, we don't hold, I don't know. I mean, in other countries, obviously they just smoke you. So it's different, but.
Hey, but here's my question. What is one thing that we are doing more than what we did in 2018?
We give people pass.
But what I'm saying is like, okay, if you say like, it's not your fault, it's the background that you come from. It's the place you grew up. What are we doing to fix those areas where people are still growing up? What's happening in Compton, Long Beach, Chicago, any inner city? What's anything?
The worst cities in America got worse in the last 5 years. Not got better.
They get the worst of all of this.
Yeah. So if you actually are woke, what you want in your community that has been troubled for the last 4 or 5 years is actually enormous investment, not only in policing crime, but making sure, look, if you know you commit a crime, you go to jail or something bad happens, you know what happens? You stop committing crime.
Yeah.
So we have We've all watched like all the fentanyl docs, and I think that's the biggest culprit of all this stuff.
Yeah.
How do you stop them?
Who, the Chinese?
Fentanyl?
No, meaning like the person that's addicted on fentanyl, that's homeless, that's acting crazy, that's probably committing crime.
I mean, what's the Sleepy is letting everyone walk in the border with fucking fentanyl.
Yeah. It's such a...
No, I'm saying actual people. Like, so
I know, but if you can't get it,
if there's 100 people in West Hollywood that are on fentanyl and they're all fucked up, and
how are they getting it?
Yeah, that's a second degree order. That's China. You got to talk to Xi.
Yeah. And
TikTok.
where is
and
it coming from? It's
ByteDance
coming
and
from
Temu.
south of the border.
No, but my point is, how do you solve, like, you put a guy on fentanyl in jail
Yeah.
for a month.
Yeah.
What's he doing when he gets back?
Fentanyl.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, once again, this is such a bigger question than any of us can really answer. But like, I think it all goes back to opportunity and education and support in our most fucked up areas. Like, we're not doing anything. The amount of people that kill each other in Chicago is insane and has been almost like joked about for years. We don't do anything. There's no opportunity. There's no, and we all know there's no opportunity. We're sending billions and billions of dollars to other countries. Everyone has been talking about lately, like after all the billions that we're sending for the Ukraine war, we're going to send more billions to rebuild Ukraine.
Yeah.
But we're not rebuilding
Chicago.
any of our own. Yeah. And I think it's pretty obvious. Like, people have no opportunity, and then there's this horrible cycle of people getting on drugs. Then now your dad is a fentanyl addict. So how do you think you're going to grow up? Well, now you're going to be getting in trouble. Then blah, blah, blah. Then it's just over and over and over. But no one, all we want to do is think that the solution is to like decriminalize everything, as opposed to like, why don't we take a look at what's leading?
Why did they become a criminal in the first place?
Like, I will say this, you, Anand, could do fentanyl, whatever amount wouldn't kill you tonight. And you'd probably have a great night, probably have a great time. You would not become a fentanyl addict. I can promise you, because you have a good life and support system. And there's something that leads someone to become.
Yeah. I mean, I had a surgery and I was offered effectively fentanyl. I did not take it.
And my point is, there's things that lead people to
those choices.
Yeah. To feel like you need, like your life, you need a painkiller. There's pain. So the question is, what's the pain that everyone's trying to cure with drugs?
So why do you think, I don't know, this is such a tough question. So why in a country like Dubai, where we talked about, very small, 3.5 million, it's 1% of what America is.
Yeah.
That they've solved everything.
It's just fake. It's too small.
They kill you if you do anything
That's like
wrong.
saying, why when you go to Disneyland, is it just so great? And there's just, everything's like so happy and everyone's in such a good mood.
If they're able to make sure that no one's on fentanyl.
Yeah.
I know it's 1% of the population.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Are you comfortable with all the other rules of Dubai? Because your way, you would have to smoke Robert who walked into your house. You smoke him, dead. Shot in your face.
No, someone else would smoke him.
What?
No, you would have called the cops, and then they would have shut the door, and you would have heard a bang. And
You walked in Anand's house? Anand, come out here. We got to kill him. Boom, done.
But you know when
That's
you call the
what's
cops,
happening.
Robert's getting smoked.
You're okay with that?
No, I'm just curious how they're able to pull it off.
What's
I think
the
it's just so
curiosity?
small.
I'm telling you.
Just basically kill everyone.
You make everyone
make transgressions.
Can I tell you something? What's happening in El Salvador with that guy? We are all going to go visit El Salvador. The same way you were in Mexico City and it was like the place to be. We're all going to go to El Salvador soon and be like, oh yeah, man, they have a new Thai restaurant that just opened up.
You know, they went long Bitcoin.
Yeah, they went long Bitcoin and then locked everyone
They
up.
have 5,000 Bitcoin.
And they locked everyone up.
Yeah. And I would say it's the same as like being in like Dubai is the same, very similar to Vegas. Like when you're in like the wind,
Nothing's happening.
Rich, nothing's happening. Little do you know, there's hookers and suicides, and this dude fucking just lost his life savings, and that guy, like Vegas, you know, the shit that happens in Vegas is wild, but they are so good at keeping it. Look, because it's so small, you can do that, and I think there's a lot to learn from places like that. I really do, because I think like some of it is just like law and order, but I think it's easier when it's that small.
So you think it's a lot of just cleaning it up and no one sees?
Well, I just think what I'm saying by that is like it's easier to control when it's small. It's easier to control the perception. And like if you want to keep fentanyl out of there, it's pretty, you know, like the punishment is so strict. They find it, they whatever. It's just, I think it's small, but I think there's a lot to learn. There's not what we're dealing with now or Dubai. I think there's a whole range of mediums that's totally reasonable, including just whatever we did in 2018. You know what I'm saying? Like it got tremendously worse post-COVID.
So I know me and you are both Rogan guys.
Yeah.
where we think about kind of surveillance and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And what I noticed in Dubai, and I didn't mention this whenever I talked about it, there's a camera at every signal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So they're photographing everyone.
Yeah.
And when I was doing immigration, they photographed me.
Yeah.
And I saw the guy. He was like making sure I didn't do anything. Obviously I didn't do anything, but he literally was checking in his register.
Yeah.
And was like, all right, go through.
I mean, we do that when you walk into America, right? Like when you walk into America now, if you have global entry, you don't even need to swipe your passport, none of that. You just lift your hat, take a picture.
Yeah, but my point is are we willing? Are we willing in America to sacrifice those civil liberties to have a safe society?
I would. I will give you access to my phone. I will do anything
because it was very clear in Dubai. They took a picture of me when I walked in.
Yeah,
we're doing that already in America.
They probably had 1,000 pictures of me in 3 days.
So can I see if this checks out?
No, I'm not me. I'm just saying. I was around.
Does this check out that the guys from my gym said that when they went to Dubai for a fight, and they said that like somewhere at some point your credit card is tied into either your rental car or something, and that they would be speeding on the highway because they didn't know any better, and there'd be cameras taking photos of them speeding the same way there's a red light cam here. And that they would just see the bill on their card.
Wow.
I would believe it. I was Ubering, so.
Yeah. They said they would get to like the gym and just be like, charge.
$75 bucks.
What's all this for? And they found out it was because each time that camera caught you speeding, it just billed you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's cool.
100% checks out.
I like that.
Yeah, I think, look, the question is, it's a spectrum. There's a wide range of control for outcome. You have to trade this for that. What are we willing to give? I don't know. I'm definitely willing to give more. I think the problem is we're already pretty like surveilled and like we're pretty, you can't, it's really hard to get away with murder today. Like we're fucking tracked and surveilled and whatever. It's just, we're not enforcing the information we already know. That's what's weird.
The only counter to, because I get now that, America's popping and like everyone's employed and just everyone's making money.
GA.
Which GA?
Great again.
Great. America's great. It was great 8 years ago too.
And now it's great.
Again.
No, but my point is you don't get the innovation if you don't let people to kind of break rules. So Uber would not exist because you can't go against a taxi commission.
Right.
Airbnb wouldn't exist.
America, you can break rules and you don't die.
No, so my point is like, we're talking like, now we all are like, okay in our lives and we just want safety.
Right.
And,
but here's my point is we don't need today. I'm not asking if I could ask for anything I wanted. I'm not asking for more surveillance, meaning we don't even need it. We know who's doing it. We're letting them out.
So
Robert could have had a gun in your home. You would have definitely said, I want to press charge. I want him arrested. That night, Robert would have been back out. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Robbie.
Oh, Robbie back on the streets, getting a new gun and prowling a different neighborhood. Like that is what would have happened.
No, but I'm saying the magic of America is that we allow people to do things.
Right.
And you create innovation because of it.
But we're too loose.
Oh, yeah. You
what I'm saying is we're just too loose.
Okay, fine.
It's kind of like I would compare it to like your kids or something. Like they need a certain level of security, and they need a certain level of freedom, and you always have to dial that. I would guess as a parent.
It's a balance. It's a magical balance,
right? And you don't want them to be coddled.
We all
and you don't want them to go run in front of a car, but you want to like balance. And it's the same with a society.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And we're out of balance.
We all watched the Travis Kalanick documentary on whatever show, was it Netflix or whatever, Apple TV?
Yeah.
I mean, he went against the government.
And that's awesome. And I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome. You can do that here. And I think that's why we're as powerful as we are.
Yeah.
I just think we need to tighten it up. Like, once again, let's say your kids. What's like one of the worst things your kid has ever done? Either of you, like smack the other one or something?
She poured a lot of syrup on Eric's kids' pancakes.
And what'd you do about that?
We talked to her about it.
Right. So imagine if you instead like took her into like a bathroom at Eric's house, closed the door, and then opened the door and said, "Go ahead. The syrup's out there." Like, that's what we're doing. What do you expect them to learn? Your kid's never going to learn.
Like, here's more syrup. Here's a bigger syrup.
In case you're wondering, the syrup's back in the fridge. Your kid's going to be a psychopath.
Not only spray it on Eric's kid, spray it on Eric.
Right. And if you do,
he would love that.
Walk you back in that bathroom and let you right back out.
Cheer it.
Right. And what would happen to your kid? She would become a psycho when she was 18. That's what we're doing. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Anywho. Right. Thanks for listening, everyone. 850 episodes. Here's to 850 more. I think we can all tell Anand's turning MAGA.
Yeah.
We got months. February, March. We got 7-8 months?
No.
Yeah.
I explained my whole stance.
Your stance won't matter if 17 more people walk into your house.
Yeah.
Your house is Disneyland. You're just like, it's just going to register. I'm going to get a counter. And all the people walking in.
Yeah. A little one of those little turnstiles. Come on in.
Come on in. We're not going to press charges. My bad. I left the door unlocked.
Yeah. You were lost and I gave you the wrong door to enter. My fault. All right. Thanks for listening. Have a great week. See you later.